Hey, I just want to ask you. I saw yesterday after the game when you asked about why Penix didn't go back into the game or to finish up the game. You said that you kind of wanted to send Kirk out there. If you could just please explain, the reasoning behind that of not, allowing Michael to get some game reps.
We when we went back out there, it's 35-21, and realistically, we got a chance to go down there and score. We're right back in this thing with a potential onside kick to try to go and win that football game in Minnesota, where he's from. I wanted Kurt to finish that game out for us, and that was just the mindset that I was in at that day and at that time. I wasn't into the mode of getting Mike game reps at that moment because I felt like it was one of those things where we had a chance to still go win the football game and keep our guy in the game and try to go win it.
Yes, and Raheem, Kirk, as everybody knows, hasn't been playing up to his expectations and probably your expectations. As you evaluate that, I mean, if it gets to a point where you feel like Michael gives you the best chance, would you have any hesitation in doing that?
This is a very tricky way of asking us who's our quarterback, Mike. I like that. It's for sure Kurt, our quarterback, but I have no hesitations in what our young man has been doing and how he's been preparing and the things that he's ready to do. So if that time ever came, I would have a lot of confidence in what Mike's able to do, but Kurt's our quarterback. Kurt's the guy who's going to lead us. We still got a big-time opportunity coming up here on Monday Night Football with Kurt leading us, and I'm fired up to go out there and get us to go play better.
Thank you.
Mark Ramondi.
Hey, Raheem.
Hey, Mark.
Just wondering, and I'm not sure how much you've watched yet of yesterday, but what are the things that stand out to you as far as what's been happening over the last 4 games compared to, the first 9 games where you guys were rolling pretty well? I mean, what are the things that kind of stand out to you? Because obviously there is a difference there.
Mark, the biggest thing when you talk about overall production is the turnovers. The turnovers in the National Football League will absolutely kill you. The penalties, we've been really good all year, and yesterday in particular, and like we talked about in a couple of those games right before the bye, that we wanted to clean up some of those things in the red zone in particular, have been absolutely killing us. That reared its ugly head yesterday. Whether you agree or disagree with the penalties, it doesn't really matter. You got to find ways not to get them, and we got to do a better job of doing those things. So really, it's been the turnovers, the penalties, and yesterday in particular, which was kind of an anomaly for most of the season, was the big plays that we gave up in the secondary. And it was big plays that we could have stopped some, and there were some that we should have had play opportunities on that we did not make. Whether it was a missed sack that turned into a scramble and leaving a guy uncovered, or whether it was a ball thrown up on a flutter on an underthrow that we couldn't track. And then there are ones that they earned, right? The ones that they caught on down the sideline or got a penalty. You can live with those, but the ones you got a chance to make, you got to go out there and make those in the secondary. So those are the 3 things yesterday that came up. And like you mentioned, just over the last couple of weeks, it's been the turnovers, and the turnovers have absolutely been killing us, and we got to find ways to limit those things.
And one of the things that you mentioned, after the Chargers game too, was the turnovers. Specifically, Kirk, he had the 4 interceptions, and I remember you were asked, I think, what is the improvement that you're going to be looking for from Kirk, and I think you answered limit the turnovers.
Yes.
He had 2 more interceptions. I mean, does that what is the message going to be this week? And can you guys live with if that continues with that play, those turnovers?
No, you can't live with it at all. You got to eliminate the turnovers. So that message has to remain the same, but it wasn't just Kurt yesterday. Kurt had the 2 interceptions, one early in the game on a play action pass, and he had one late in the game going to Kyle over the middle on a 0-S type play that he got to put a better ball on Kyle. And then we had, obviously the one that was just dreadful and just kind of got the game out of whack was the one on the kickoff return. And basically we had a 4th with the giving him the ball back on the penalty that we got on the field goal block team. Basically giving them the short field and 2 opportunities to go out there and score touchdowns that we could have taken away. So realistically, I counted as a 4 turnover day again, and those things that just killed us yesterday was part of the reason it didn't go our way.
Zach Klein.
Hey, Rod, after the Chargers game, Kirk said, nothing is given, everything is earned, and that's the way he treats the week. So it's safe to say that Michael hasn't earned the right from what you've seen him in practice to start, that he's just not ready, and that you're hoping that Kirk just turns into Kirk, and this 4-game stretch is just an aberration. As opposed
I don't want to speak for Kirk because I didn't really hear the quote, but I don't think he was referring to Michael. I probably was referring more to himself.
He was, yeah, it
And
was for sure. It was for himself.
yeah, he's probably referring to himself. And like,
Correct.
I don't equate that to Michael at all. I just think, Kurt was the guy that led us to a 6-3 record. And we got to find a way to get out of this funk and get it back going down the end of the stretch, which we believe that we can do. We went out to get this young man to lead us to the playoffs and give us an opportunity to get in the playoffs and play significant football in December. And we're doing that. And we got to find a way to snap out of it and really go. And Kurt has earned a lot in this league. And I think he's trying to earn it every single day. And I got a lot of respect for how he goes about his process, how he learns, how he reads, how he thinks, how he does everything. And like, for us, it's going to be his opportunity to go out there and right the ship. And we got to give him that opportunity. And he's earned it.
Taryn?
Hey, Raheem, there's a lot of talk already about, can you hear me?
I can, Taryn.
A lot of talk already pregame about Desmond Ridder getting an opportunity to start for Vegas. Obviously, pre your regime here in Atlanta, what have you seen from him career-wise to get him back into a position to start in the NFL? And what do you try to do to limit him on Monday?
I don't know who's going to be the starter. Obviously, Aiden O'Connell got some really good news today. I heard that is not as bad as we all thought with the aircast going on and things of that nature. But, Dez, when he was here, obviously I got a chance to meet him in a short window that he was here. Great young man, great person. Obviously, he got a unique talent with the arm with arm talent. And just like all these just young quarterbacks, they need opportunities to go out there and play. And if he gets an opportunity to go out there and play, I'm sure he'll have a full practice week. He'll be able to prepare the right way and get ready for us, a familiar opponent, some people he know. And now we got to get ready for him as well. So he can run the football. He's talented. He's athletic. He's big. He can throw the football. He did a lot of good things. He wasn't able to lead our team into the way that we wanted him to go to the future. He's getting a second opportunity like a lot of quarterbacks do in this league. And we got to get ready to play him or Aiden and be ready for both, or either one that shows up, Taryn.
All right, we'll go to Taryn now.
I think that was Taryn. Who was I just asking the question?
That was Aaron.
Aaron. Sorry about that, Aaron.
This is Taryn. Looking at Bijan Robinson's season so far, he just had his 9th game with more than 100 yards from scrimmage. Are you seeing your plan for him that you had before the season started play out?
Bijan is an absolutely fabulous player that is absolutely fun to work with every single week. And it is without a doubt the mindset that we had going into it, talking about the Christian McCaffrey type role or esque. And he's going out and being able to do a lot of those things. And he's done even more than I even had for his expectations when it comes to pass pro, when it comes to some of the toughness that he brings to our table and the mindset that he brings to our team. He's got leadership qualities for a very young player that I didn't know about personally, that I'm learning about every single day. And he's a wonderful player, and I'm so happy to be able to coach him, have the opportunity to coach him. I'm blessed.
A quick follow-up to that then. What are those leadership qualities you didn't know about that you're seeing?
His mindset, he has a calmness about him that really softens the room and lets them all play with a calm mind and lets them all play in a certain way that it looks like when he's running the football, is the way he talks to his team. And his presence in front of the team, his presence in front of the group, his ability to talk to us and lead us in the right way. I couldn't be happier, Taryn.
Thank you, Raheem.
Go to Stats Zeno.
We talked about this last week, and I got to follow up on it, the game management and understand the scenarios and how things unfold. You had that 4th and 5 on your second drive. First part, was the field goal just not an option at that point? Did you didn't think that the distance was there?
I think it was a 4th and 2. It was the one I got, or was the one I didn't get?
Oh, the 4th and 5, the one where you turned it down, where you turned it over on downs. It was 4th and 5. You threw the short pass to McLeod. It was incomplete.
Yeah, I thought it was a 4th and 2, but anyway, it was at the 38-yard line. You're in that gray area of having a 53-yarder or whatever the case may be to go out there. And those are more of a desperation field goals for us. I mean, we don't want to kick that far all the time, and I wasn't in the mindset of kicking it right there. So we went for it, was aggressive at it. We were aggressive at it and having the ability to go for it right there because that was our mindset, trying to get that thing to a 14-point game. And like that was the mindset. We were in 4-down territory. We liked it right there. If I was a little closer, may have kicked it. Could have gone out and maybe potentially try to draw them off sides and make those guys jump off sides and give us a free one. If not, you back it up like we did a little bit later and go for the punt, try to pin them back deep. But the mindset right there for me was to go for it, have the aggressive mindset, let those guys go get it. We got a really good look at Ray, wasn't able to complete that, and we'd like to have that catch back because I thought that was a pretty good pass. I thought that was something we can come down with and move the chains.
All right, so 2 drives later, though, your third drive later in the half, you have fourth and goal from, I think it was the 3-yard line or whatever it was, and there you decide to kick. What I'm just trying to understand the
So Zeno, that was in a 2-minute
philosophy.
So Zeno, that was in 2-minute.
Mhm.
That was in 2-minute. We're going into the halftime, and I wanted to make sure we got points right there. We had just thrown a pass. It was a really good look, got knocked down. Could have been an easy walk-in on a third down situation right there. Went to 4th and 3 right there in the red zone. Wanted to make sure we got points right there to not deflate the team going into the half. So we took the points as opposed to going for it on 4th down right there in 3.
Okay. I just, again, it's just
you can always ask. Stop apologizing for asking questions.
No,
It's okay.
I mean,
that's what we're here for. It's a question and answer segment.
Thank you. I appreciate
You don't have to agree either.
the aggressive philosophy, I guess, of when you're aggressive. Look, Dan Candle's sort of the standard bearer of all gas, no brakes, with Dan Quinn trying to catch up, right? As far as coaches are concerned, that's just kind of the way they operate. I
some
think
of it. So Zeno, to answer that question, some of it for me is a feel thing, and then some of it is the aggressive mentality that we want to be able to play with. So like that first one in the 4th and 5, we're up 7-0. We got a chance, man, to really go to Minnesota, get a statement going, and if we pick this thing up like we've been able to do for the most part during the year, we got a really good 4th down ratio of getting these things and picking them up and having that kind of confidence. I went for it on that one to go for the 14-0 lead, or to be able to have a chance to go get the 14-0 lead. Didn't turn out that way. Ended up being a 7-7 game, and then at the end of the half there, got a really good look at a play call that we really loved on a 3rd down. Wasn't able to complete that, and then in order not to go to the halftime deflated, I want to take the points right there so we can make sure we cut that thing down, come back out, potentially score, get a stop, get a score, take the lead, and then who knows what happens from that point. So some of it is a feel thing. Some of it's definitely playing with analytics in your world. Some of it's definitely listening to the people that put those things together for. Some of those things are, when we're in 4-down territory now, I got to make those decisions. The main thing for me, though, Zeno, is I want to be decisive. And if I can be decisive with those guys, like going for the 2-point conversion yesterday, we went for that thing and got it, getting those guys ready to go, getting lined up. Some of the 4th downs that we went for yesterday, whether it was the run the football, a 3rd down and short, different natures of that time. So, even a big time, 3rd down, and I believe it was like 17 in the red zone when we ran the football. Why'd you run it there? Wanted to make sure we got the points and show the points in that one, so I didn't make the same recurring mistake that I made the week before versus the Chargers, putting it in the quarterback's hand, potentially giving a pick or giving a turnover there, as opposed to getting the points and taking it there so we could potentially win it at the end. So there's a lot of stuff that's going around that area. It's all thought about. There's no right and wrong answer. There is statistical analytics that back you up. There is a little bit of feel. There's a little bit of a mindset. So I think all those things go into play. I don't think I'm ever going to come forward with you just some flat formula, but I'm definitely going to be around the formula world and being aggressive. But the aggressive mindset is something I definitely want to carry.
Will McFadden?
Yeah, hey there, Raheem. Talked about the turnovers on the offensive side of the ball, but one turnover forced defensively over the last 5 games. How important is that for y'all down the stretch as you're looking to create some of these extra opportunities of your own?
No doubt, Will. That was a part of our game plan yesterday, try to go force some turnovers and get the ball back. And we had some opportunities, and we missed some big-time track opportunities yesterday by big-time players, whether it was Justin Simmons or whether it was Jesse. And this is not me calling those guys out because they got the highest position for themselves and be able to make some of those plays, and we did not make them yesterday. And those are the ones you want to be able to do. And then at the end of the game, when we gave up the rushing yards, we got carried away in a 4-minute drive trying to punch the ball out instead of tackling. I was able to tack some extra rushing yards on, and I just wasn't the move or the time to do it. And and I don't want to take credit away from the Vikings and what they were able to do and execution that they were able to make. They did a nice job doing those things. We did rush the passer well, and the other time to get turnovers is on sack fumbles, and we got to be able to get the ball off them a couple of times. We were able to get to the quarterback 4 times.
Gotcha. And one more for me is you all are last in the league in 4th quarter scoring. Over these final 4 games, what are you working on to help improve that number, and how important is it to either close the door on some of these teams when you've got a lead or fight your way back in that final quarter?
Well, I don't think it's just necessarily the quarter. I think we just got to be better in red zone overall. Just for the whole part of it all, right? Yesterday, we were 2 for 5. We went in there with a mindset to run the football in. We were able to do that twice with Tyler. We were able to do that with Bijan. We come back after that, like we just talked about the Zeno 2-minute play. We were able to try to throw it into a nice little route right there to Drake on the left side. It got knocked down, had to settle for the field goal. We come out the end, and we got the extra long one in the red zone. We end up settling for the field goal on that one. And then at the end, we had a drop in the end zone that we should catch and be able to close out some of those deals. But I just think it's red zone in general. I don't want to just go with just the fourth quarter, but our red zone offense, we want to make sure is a little bit better every single week, and we got to get those things going.
Gotcha. Thank you.
No problem.
Joe Patrick.
Yeah, hey Raheem. Team had a lot more like diversity in terms of the personnel sets that you were using yesterday, especially with the 2 tight ends. I just wanted to ask you kind of what was the thinking behind that, and how do you think that it resulted?
Minnesota does a really nice job of stopping the 11 run game. You know, they got a unique player. They got a chess piece in their young safety that are able to line up like a linebacker, gets to crank position and makes it look like a base defense. And we've seen better openings and better creases in our 12 personnel package and our fast 21 package. So we're able to go out and do some different things. It gave us a little bit of versatility in our run game and how we wanted to attack those guys. And I thought it worked really well. When you're able to rush the ball and get Bijan as many carries we're able to get him, whether it was 90 yards and Tyler get 63, and you end up with a 150-yard day, and you absolutely shot yourself in the foot by taking away some of that rushing yards with some of the penalties that we got, whether it was holding or whether it was the false starts, whatever the case may be. You got to feel good about the plan, and you got to feel good moving forward to be able to utilize that whenever you want, to be able to dictate terms when you're going to use it, Joe.
Back to Zeno.
All right, here are my stats, Ra.
I love it.
And they're not good. Dead last in the league in opponent completion percentage allowed at 72% of the season. Over the last 3, 78.8% of passes have been completed against the defense. Now, I know when you drop back to pass, only 4 things can happen. 3 of them are bad for the offense. So when the 25% that is good for the offense, the opposing team's offense is being hit at that rate, they're going to have long, extended drives against you and sort of limit your opportunity. Is there a way or anything you can do to minimize the team completing nearly better, almost 80% of the passes against you?
100%. You know, you got to play tighter coverage, and which we did yesterday. And we gave up a couple long shots. And when you give up a couple long shots, some of those one-on-one contested balls that I talked about, you don't help your complete percentage. You know, the week before, the week prior, we actually did it in the second half, was able to do that and limit some people. But you got to go out there and be consistent with that every single week. And then I think Will mentioned it, but it was about getting turnovers, right? You got to get the ball back off of these guys. You got to be able to limit that stuff and limit drives. You know, all those things got to happen. But that's not a good completion rate, Zeno, and you're 100% right. I don't know what else you want me to say about that. But yes, you can fix those things. Is
there any chance of changing the defensive philosophy or scheme at this point, or even to a point where you would take over more of the play calling?
No, you know, I'm always able to be helpful on both sides of the ball. And like I've obviously intervened on both. And it's been a lot of really good things that's come out of that thing, whether it's been the pass rush trying to help and improve on those things, or which we've done over the last couple of weeks. You know, getting about 9 sacks in the last 2 weeks, which was non-existent, which we had to work on to get it better. That's going to help with our passing rate and things of that nature. And I'm so proud of the guys and the coaches that do that, whether it's been Jimmy Lake or whether it's been Jerry Gray. Yesterday, uncharacteristic, we gave up the big plays, which we haven't been giving up, and those are things that we've been limiting. So when you don't give up the big plays and you don't care about those things and you tackle well, usually you're going to be okay, even if the percentage is right or the percentage is good, if you can get off the grass. And we got to get off the grass like we're able to do versus the Chargers. We got to get off the grass like we're able to do versus some of our wins early. And in this stretch right here, it hadn't been great. So yesterday in particular, when you give it the big long passes to some really good wideouts, it's not going to go in your favor.